So Karl Jobst absolutely had to respond to Jirard. Obviously, Jirard had called him out. He responds, the recent Jirard video is unfortunately full of lies again. My next video will be a response. After experiencing my own public backlash, I sympathize with what he went through. It truly isn't pleasant. His persistent dishonesty is really baffling, though. So he continues on with a statement. I have made plenty of mistakes. There are plenty of things to criticize me for, and I will attempt to own them as much as possible. But for some reason, he felt compelled to straight up lie about things that are easily disproved. Now, remember, there was a time where Karl Jobst tried to bait me into saying Jirard, the completionist, was going to sue him. In fact, I have the receipts right here. Holy F, the completionist just filed a lawsuit against me. Really? 100% serious. Not 99%, 100%. Now, this, of course, was a joke and a ploy to try to discredit me, which I easily caught on to because I can go on Google. I can go on Court Listener. And again, this is pretty much Karl's own arrogance, right? What we cover on this channel is documents. We cover largely documents. I spend a lot of time reading documents. Even Karl's own Discord is confused. Ain't no way. Stupid move, if so. I mean, this does seem like a quite dire situation, and they're going to justify why Karl is telling the truth, although he, of course, is lying. Let me go back to defamation. Karl was found guilty of defaming Billy Mitchell, meaning the court found Billy Mitchell a more credible witness than Karl Jobst. In fact, the court would later go on to say a lot of really, really bad things about how Karl Jobst is viewed in the Australian legal system, specifically by Judge Barlow, is very poor. In fact, I've never seen typically a judge, has to look at both sides, and often you don't want to offend one side because they might appeal. Karl eventually did not appeal because he could not win. He's probably told that. And it would be a waste of money, which doesn't make any sense because he was just going to bankrupt anyway. Why not spend the money on the appeal, lose the appeal, and then have less money to give to Billy Mitchell? I'm just saying, right? So, in the likelihood, defamation is a crime where you make false statements about an individual harming their reputation. Now, harming their reputation is a very important part because that's hard to prove. Defamation is one of the most difficult crimes or difficult torts. So it's tort. It's not a crime. It's a tort because it's civil. It's one of the most difficult torts to prove. Just look at Logan Paul versus CoffeeZilla. And then in his apology video, which wasn't an apology video, he goes out and lashes out against me. I have done my best just to cover what was presented in the documents. Just because the documents, and you can read them yourself, they're all public, by the way, Karl, and they will be public forever. There is no way to get rid of these documents because it is case law. 100 years from now, they will be citing Karl Jobst and how he utterly lost a defamation case. Defamation is lying. Basically, right? In layman's terms, it's lying to hurt somebody's reputation. Very difficult to prove because you have to prove damages, you have to prove that it was a lie, and you have to prove that there wasn't any mitigation or any. It's very difficult for a plaintiff to win defamation, and yet here we sit. It's clear that Karl has lied about Apollo Legend, and he didn't correctly mitigate or recant. He did make, a recant in a Dark Show video, completely unrelated to any Billy Mitchell videos that he would then later go on and make. So back to the situation at hand, Karl could be getting what he asked for, right? He basically predicted that the completionist would sue him, probably thinking that it was just whatever, right? A funny thing to try to get me to fall into. But now it may be a reality, and I can tell you why. Because the statute of limitations for the original videos Karl made and Mutahar made on Jirard has passed. In Australia, the statute of limitations is 1 year for defamation when you have to start the lawsuit. Now, he's going to make a response video because he has to. His channel is losing views. A channel that used to get 1 million views a video. In fact, the last Completionist video he made got 2 million views. Right? 2 million views. He's now down to 300,000 views making cheating videos or not cheating videos about a cat boy or something like that. Who really knows? And this is it's almost like you foretold your own doom. Because should Jirard sue you, and people are like, oh, Jirard's not going to sue because of discovery. No, just like in Billy Mitchell, if we did not learn anything from Billy Mitchell, he had an excellent attorney. He picked just one statement, and that's all it takes for defamation. Let me repeat this again. It doesn't take all these statements Karl has ever made about you. It takes one statement that you prove is false and you prove has harmed your reputation. Like I said, Jirard does not need to prove every single statement about Karl said about him is defamatory. And again, you look at Billy Mitchell, right? Billy Mitchell, how many times did Karl Jobst call him a cheater? How many times did Karl Jobst call him a liar? Many, many times, but that is not what he was sued for. So don't let Karl mislead you again, that saying that he's bankrupt and no one would ever sue him. And in reality, he's the real winner of the Billy Mitchell versus Karl Jobst. No, he is a loser. He is now in the court of law a liar. He is now in the court of law. Something even worse than a liar would be a defamer. Somebody who's lying specifically to ruin someone's reputation, either intentionally with malice or with reckless disregard. That is the standard that was proven in court in his home country in Brisbane, where he lives. Now, according to Billy Mitchell, there are 2 judges in Brisbane. Trust me, both of them do not like Karl, especially since his good friend Erzcat, who actually went to attend the trial in Australia, he is doing Karl no favors by then attacking Judge Barlow, the judge who ruled on the case. So let me reiterate this to you very clearly. The other judge, who will likely receive the defamation case, should there be one, knows who Karl is, knows what Karl is, and probably has a very negative view. Karl is doing him no favors. Karl's best BFF, Erzcat, did him no favors by attacking Judge Barlow, because that other judge is going to look at that, and I promise you, Erzcat will not be allowed in that trial in person. That he will not be able to attend that trial due to his bias and his personal attacks on a previous judge. So, I would say that Jirard waited for the perfect time. Now, am I a fan of Jirard? No. Am I a fan of Mutahar? No. Am I a fan of Karl? No. All things could be equal, and all 3 of them could have done kind of weird stuff or bad stuff. But I will say only one of them in the court of law. It's the only thing I care about in this channel. We are a legal channel. Most of the times, I don't know what's he's so offended by, right? That he's got to make a hit piece of just clipping various. And you can tell they're clips because I'm wearing like different clothing in them. It goes from one clip to another clip, and I'm wearing different clothing. I have my, it's crazy to me that I was watching this movie on Amazon, and it was about the president, and they had to read like a piece of paper. And if they read the piece of paper, they could use AI to generate any type of like message they wanted. Oh, buy my crypto coin. That's what they wanted to say. Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? There's not much difference, in my opinion, outside of the AI use than splitting different clips of what somebody says out of context and then combining them into a hit piece video. It will never stand in court. Lawyers are too smart for that. Judges are too smart for that. But for Karl's audience, they eat it up, right? Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. We will continue to cover this. I really do hope that there is a defamation lawsuit. I think there should be one, but we will see. And Karl obviously wishes there was one, of course, too, for the content, nonetheless. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Bye, guys.